Hello, folks. This is Paramjit Singh. Thank you very much for stopping by once again. So, after 2 years, today is the first day when I had a in-person class at a DeGroote School of Business at McMaster. It was an interesting experience because you have to speak through the mask, and it brought a very different kind of a dimension to the whole experience because you're interacting with the people who are all masked. You're trying to figure out whether the attention is being paid and whether the delivery is being met with kind of a appropriate response. So entirely a different uh, ball game. And I suspect moving forward, this will be one of the challenges of in-person teachings and learning also, because the other person is masked. You cannot decipher their facial expressions. You do not know what's really going on. So that was an interesting experience. But what I wanted to share with you today is a snippet of the conversation that went in the class today. So the conversation was about meta awareness and its role in decision making, especially in the context of business environment. And these folks uh, were part of the executive MBA program, digital transformation. So these are the folks who are aspiring or have already achieved a great level of satisfaction in the context they have been working in, but they want to fine tune their skill set. And we were talking about the meta awareness, the value of moving beyond your intellect to fine tune our decision making process so that we can improve negotiation skills, we can improve team player cooperation, we can improve our odds of dealing with stressful circumstances, so that we can improve our ability to negotiate uncertain times. And no time is more uncertain than pandemic times. So we had wonderful discussion, but there was one question that came in, and I want to address it here because it may be useful for other folks. And one of the ladies in attendance talked about, how do we work with a mind which has a runaway tendencies, like it is like a greyhound on the leash, does not want to be reined in. And that brings us to the question of habit formation, habit modification, and habit breakage. So if you're working with the meta awareness techniques like mindfulness, and you come to encounter a very resistant habit, one of the things you need to keep in mind for it to be successful is you need to continue doing whatever you're doing. You need to continue respond to the habit in a different way than you have done in the past. And this repetitive exposure to a very different way of doing the habit is going to make your habit more malleable, and hence over the period of time you will set a stage for laying out the foundation for a new habit. So even if you have millions of greyhounds running around in your mind in the form of negative habits or emotions or feelings, don't give up. Keep on doing what you can do every day. And you will notice that every nudge you make in that direction recruits the neuroplastic nature of the brain by helping us understand that every time you do not respond to the same habit in the same way, you begin to change it for better over the period of time. You just have to do it long enough and frequently enough so that the new neuroplastic patterns can take shape. So please don't give up. If you are into practice of something like mindfulness and use to change your habit patterns, keep in mind it takes time to identify and recognize our habit patterns, and it takes even longer to break bad habits. Sometimes it can take up to 254 days to make a new habit, depending on the complexity of your habit. So Don't worry about the greyhounds in your mental space. Instead, focus on paying attention and reconfiguring your relationship to those greyhounds. They will eventually leave you aside, leaving behind a more healthier mental pattern. So if you are into these kind of challenges and you are interested in knowing more about using mindfulness in the way of business environment, beyond is a fashionable placement in the business environment, and really moving the needle in some very basic and significant aspect of the business operations, like decision making, negotiation process, and using techniques from a meta level, meta cognitive and intellectual level, do reach out to us. I would love to have a conversation with you. So that's it. That's what I wanted to share with you. Mainly, I wanted to share my experience of in-person class today after the lockdown and what came out of it. But I tell you, it's a one heck of a different experience. And this is going to be quite interesting when all the classes go online in winter. So thank you so much for stopping by. For a little while now, I'm trying to make my videos more, or you can say less sober, and do it differently. But I want to confess that has been one of the most intriguing challenge for me, because I am more comfortable in the reflective, sober, sombering processes rather than giving those kind of a bouncy videos. But I'm doing my best to actually work through these things. If you have any suggestions, how can I do it, how I can make the subject matter more creative, more bouncy, more gravitational, kindly reach out to me. I would love your help and support. But continue to practice whatever you're doing. Thank you very much for stopping by. I will see you again. Bye bye for now.
Please subscribe to the channel, like and share. Thank you.